Crafting and building are a major part of a lot of open world games, crafting games, as well as sandbox games. It's one of those things where if I see it in the list of features for a game, I immediately want to buy that game like 50% more. In case you don't know, I recently started work on a slime farming game. You collect slimes, fuse new ones, grow crops, and forage for new items. And in this devlog, we're going to be adding crafting and building into the game. Just a reminder, I'm always doing stuff behind the scenes like improving the visuals of the game. I feel like showing the process for that isn't as entertaining, so I do it in the background, so things will be changing and visuals will be updated as these devlogs go on. I wanted to save the hard stuff for last, which will be making the crafting menu, so I decided that I'll just make the visuals for the crafting table and it's just a square. As I've said in past devlogs, the art is definitely the hardest part for me when it comes to making a lot of things. And I know a lot of people like my art style and a lot of people don't like it. I'm really trying here to make things look good. And I had a good place to start off. I wanted to make a chair, and I've already drawn chairs for Luna Lane. So I basically stole the chair from Luna Lane and edited it slightly so that it'll fit in more with the game. So here's the final product that I came up with. I don't think it looks too bad. It fits in with the rest of the game and the colors are alright. I think it looks pretty good. The next step was to import the sprite into Unity so we can make our first piece of furniture. But before I go any further, this furniture is going to be able to drop as an item, so we're actually going to have to make a new item for this piece of furniture. Now that that's all done, I made a game object that will serve as our chair. I didn't want to just make it a chair that you can put down. I also wanted it to be a little interactive, so I added a little platform that you can actually jump on top of the chair. And here we have the chair in all its glory. I think it's really awesome, and you can jump on top of it, which is super cool. Having a chair that just sits there is cool and all, but I wanted you to be able to place the chair wherever you want to, and I don't want you to just go around willy-nilly placing them all over in the wild and all over the place. So I want to have game objects that are placed around, which will be the different locations that you can actually put furniture down in. I put it off for as long as possible, but I finally had to jump into Visual Studio to make the code for placing down furniture. I hopped back into the game, picked up our new item, and it's a little broken. This is also a little broken. So I started work fixing these things. One of my favorite parts of game development is having a bunch of little tiny bugs all happen at the same time and you know exactly how to fix them. So it takes you no time at all to fix them, and then everything just sort of comes together. With all that fixed, I hopped back into Unity, picked up the object, and it's working. Seeing the character run around holding a chair above their head is actually kind of funny, but I also kind of really like it. Next, we have to test if we can place the furniture, and it's not working. Of course, I had to hop back into Visual Studio and fix this issue. With that all out of the way, you're now able to place your furniture. Nope. Back to Visual Studio, and back to Unity. Now placing the chair works fine, but there's that ugly green square in the way, so it's a victory, but it's not all the way there yet. Now the chair places in front of the ugly square, so it looks a little bit better. Keep in mind this square is just for testing purposes. Now I cleaned it up and added multiple different locations, so you can now place things in a variety of different areas. To be honest, at this point I was getting very excited for all the possibilities. I've always wanted to make a system like this, and I felt like I was getting closer and closer. I was just so excited. Being able to place objects is really cool, but I wanted to also add functionality so that the player can flip the objects they put down. Here's my first test, and it didn't work. Second test, and it's working. You can now flip the different objects that you place down. I'm just gonna place this right here. Turn up on the chair. Now you should be able to remove items you've put down. Okay, that's not right. I messed with a few things and now the furniture dropping is working perfectly. I don't want players to try to do this, fuse a jelly with a piece of furniture, so I'm going to actually lock it so that furniture cannot be put in the fusion area. With that all out of the way, now we need to work on crafting, and that requires creating a menu. Fun fact about me, I don't really like making menus, and I kind of suck at it as well. But doing this is just part of being a game dev, so I got to work on making the basic layout for the crafting menu. Next, I hopped into Visual Studio so you're actually able to open and close the menu. And here we are, we have a menu that can open and close. Next, we have to make this menu actually do something. But before we do that, I thought it would be a really good idea to make the menu look a little bit nicer. And I ended up with this horrible mess. So I kinda needed to make it look better and not worse. I'd like to apologize. I got to this point where I was just frustrated and didn't know what to do, and I came up with this design, but I didn't even record it because I was super frustrated with it. Now that I have the crafting table done, I can put my materials into the crafting table, go into the crafting table, and it's broken. Okay, now I can put my materials in and craft. And it works! I actually got the furniture. There's still a few issues. One of them being that it didn't actually use the materials to create it, but still it works. The crafting table could only support wood, and I wanted it to support a bunch of other resources, for example, leaves. So I was thinking, what could be created with leaves and also wood? And I thought, what better thing than a scarecrow? So I started drawing up a scarecrow. I couldn't really figure out a good head for this scarecrow, so I just decided to stick a gourdkin on top of it, which is a Luna Lane pumpkin, and I thought it looked pretty funny. And here's the finished scarecrow. I think it came out really, really good, and the next step is to put it into the game. I already had a good base because we just made this wooden chair, so I basically just copied the wooden chair and then just made changes to it. And then of course I had to make the crafting recipe for the scarecrow, and like I said earlier, it requires leaves, so let's see if this crafting system I made is working fine. But first I thought it would be a good idea to actually run through collecting the materials and bringing them back and actually crafting so you guys can see how it might look in the game. Obviously this is still a very early look. So let's actually go out and let's get some supplies. So if you haven't seen the earlier devlogs or you just need a refresher, basically you have to go out and forage for your supplies every day. So you can see that there's a spot behind this bonbon here. I'll just get rid of that. And I can dig it up, and it's actually a leaf, which is one of the materials that we need to craft the scarecrow. There's another spot right here, and this one actually gave me some wood. So wood and leaves are very basic materials. Here I have a log, you can pick it up. Once you pick it up, you can throw it, and it actually gives you a pretty high amount of wood. But I actually didn't get enough materials today, so I'm gonna have to wait until the next day in order to be able to try and find another leaf, so then we can make a scarecrow. Okay, it's the next day, and I actually got a leaf, so we can go back and make our scarecrow. I'm gonna put the resources into the crafting table here, open it up, and I'm gonna click on the scarecrow and click craft. And it worked. It didn't get rid of the leaves, which is fine. I can fix that later, but it worked. You can see I have a scarecrow here. It looks awesome. I can pop it off on the ground if I really want to and get rid of it. It looks good. I did want to make one last piece of furniture, and it actually has to serve a function, and that's a table, and I wanted the table to be able to put items on top of it. So I got to work making the table. Alright, here's the table. Currently you can just put it down. You can't actually put items on it. I mean, you could drop an item on it, but you can't actually put anything onto it. It required a little bit of annoying code, but now I have a table that you can actually put items on. It remembers how many items are in that stack, and you can remove them, so you can use them for storage, or you can use it to display an item that you really like. All in all, I think it's really awesome. This new mechanic adds so much to the game. It even allows a brand new playstyle where you completely ignore farming and you completely ignore the jellies, and you can just go out, forage for supplies, craft new items, and sell them, and you can do that to make your living. So it offers even a brand new playstyle for the game entirely. If you don't know, over on my Discord server, there's a link to that in the description, I'm doing public testing for this game. You can give me your feedback and also tell me bugs that you find. Obviously the game is in a really early state, and there's not a lot to tell you the controls or exactly how to play the game. There's not much to do in the game as well, but I think it's really awesome that I'm being completely transparent with this game and letting you guys test it out as I develop it. So if you want to do that, just go to the link in the description and check it out. Next video, I think I want to maybe work on adding days as well as seasons to spice things up a bit. But that's going to be it for this video. As always, I'll see you in the next devlog.